Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of the Catenaccio Podcast. There's not much to talk about. Not much has happened in the Serie world, but honestly, it's gonna be a super chilled out episode. I think we'll talk about a relegation battle, and that's probably it, ladies and gents. No, but in all seriousness, apart from the fact that you can probably see for people who are watching us on video, not on podcast, my fat cat sleeping next to me. But she's not going to move a whole episode, you'll see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of the Catenaccio Podcast. And we're always happy to be doing this. We won't have Ricky today. Emiliano just disappeared.
He just appeared.
Sorry. Podcast people, we just had Emiliano's just been abducted from his room. Anyway, Ricky is not here because he's not been feeling too well, but it's fine. We don't need a Juve fan all the time. But yeah, guys, obviously, I think Emi's... Oh, no, I thought Emi was going to do a big entrance. Emi's repping his Inter Milan shirt because obviously they are champions, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we move on to the actual episode, as always, I want to introduce my panel for today. I'm going to start off with a man with the... Jonathan, where's your camera on your computer? Because you're looking like into space.
It's on the bottom. It's
you have one of those weird XPS ones.
Yeah, exactly. XPS.
Luca, did you know about this? They did these laptops, which are like really popular, but the camera's on the bottom instead of the top of the laptop.
I think Amy has the same, no? And
it's
I was
really,
looking at him and Johnny from the bottom.
Yeah, Emiliano's the same.
How dumb is that? Well, I don't get why you do that. Anyway, Jonathan, how you feeling, buddy, with the Lazio win, and how you feeling in general?
Yo, today I did a self-test, and it resulted negative. So
what, to being Laziale?
Number one, and if it's -2, then I'll go get an official test done, and then maybe I'm finally free. Other than that, Lazio keeps on winning. I'm heartbroken that Milan and Juve won. Juve should not have won that game. They got unbelievably lucky. De Paul griefed it. If De Paul goes to Juve this summer, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. This could be like a De Vrij Lazio situation all over again.
Oh, I knew you were going to mention De Vrij. Anyway,
I don't know if you also heard about at halftime what was it? The Direttore Sportivo of Udinese, one of the managers. He was saying that of Udinese, that he was saying that the ref got pretty much attacked by Juve players and Pirlo, and they're pretty much just pressuring him to make certain calls. And I'm not saying that then the game was won because of refereeing decisions.
Yeah,
but still not good to see.
I mean, the free kick which led to the penalty wasn't a free kick.
Yeah, it was.
But then De Paul, like, I'm not going to complain too much because
but then De Paul
did the same thing to us.
Exactly. Then De Paul just decided.
And Striger Larsen did the same for us. He gave us a free penalty.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Why can't we
De Paul.
I'm not gonna lie, though. I saw that at halftime, though. Before we go on to introducing the rest of the panel, and I saw there was Paratici and like Ronaldo and another guy just there, and they were just like, I don't know why the ref even stopped. He was like there, he stopped. But people were encircling him, and he was like giving explanations and stuff, and people were shouting.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he should have just. You okay, bro? I think he should have just literally just like walked into the changing rooms. I don't get why. I don't get why he even stopped. Like I thought he was gonna do one of those things where refs just like walk and just go on.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Luca, you just talked, but what's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great here in London, thankfully, so I don't have to see Milan filled up with the sewer rats who have come out of hiding. That's a bit harsh. But, but no, it's I'm gonna get it out of the way straight away. It's a deserved title victory. I offer my compliments, but I am definitely thankful I am not in Milan right now, so I can avoid all of the celebrations. But yeah, I'm happy to be back on the podcast.
Speaking of people who are in Milan.
Lukaku drove under your house yesterday.
Well, I'll introduce Amy first, and then I'll tell you the story. Amy, go on. What's up, Amy?
So, hello everyone. Finally,
I'm back. You gonna finally admit you're gonna win the Scudetto now?
There's a small badge missing here. I don't know. This is last year's kit, so I couldn't. It's not updated, let's say. But yeah, absolutely. I can't complain with what happened this weekend. Of course, I was kind of hoping for Udinese to do a miracle, which 10 minutes from the end, it looked like it was possible. It would have been the perfect weekend, let's say. But yeah, of course, can't say anything. The team deserved it. Everyone played well throughout the whole of the season. It was just a moment of time, a matter of time, sorry, the last month and a half, where we basically left everyone behind, and glad it's finally over, because this should be my last week in Milan. So I could kind of enjoy the atmosphere, the celebration. Let's say I only passed by with a car, so I didn't get that in with the fans. Let's say, because you never know with COVID and everything. But yeah, I enjoyed my weekend throughout. Let's say.
That was
what's crazy? If you went, you would have met lots of people who used to go to our school a long time ago. Like, I know of Instagram stories that both Nicolas Bertoni and Nicolas Grande were there. So you could have met both of them at Duomo if you went.
Yes, I'm sure all the podcast listeners are very interested.
Anyway, we used to go to school centuries ago. Like when we were really, like when we were 10 years old.
I was telling Luca the other day, this is like all these like people who I think I've never watched the game in about 5 years. All of a sudden, I'm the biggest Interistas. Anyway, I was also in Milan. Obviously, I'm a Milan fan, and for me, I wasn't as lucky as Luca, because Luca knows as well. My house it's like one of the roads to go to the center of Milan, and all I could hear basically all of a sudden was beep 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 beep. All these people with their like scooters and cars just beeping away, and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. And apparently, there was a really famous clip of Lukaku in his car, like waving around, and it was literally underneath my house. And you can like peep my scooter, which is parked in front of my house, just in the video. And honestly, I like Lukaku. I'm not gonna lie, he's a good bloke. But yeah, it hurts.
You should have said hi.
I should have thrown a fucking chair down out of the balcony. Imagine if there's a viral video of Lukaku driving.
Boys, I had a quick question. I haven't been on the podcast for a few weeks, so I just wanted to clarify. The prediction I made about Inter not losing, I said before the derby, right? Inter won't lose until the end of the season. Can we count this as the end of the season? Because now it doesn't really matter anymore, right?
Yeah. We're gonna.
I'll give it to you.
We're gonna have fun the next weeks.
I think we're gonna see a cheeky Pinamonti up top next week.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
he's gonna rest all the players. They ran their
socks. So I'm not gonna ask for a round of applause, but quite a good prediction. Huh? Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Jeez, how's it feel to be the worst of all time, bro?
Well, I mean, it's
Anyway,
I think Luca's muted. Oh yeah.
Luca, he wasn't saying anything. Anyway, let's get to the actual episode. So, as we're speaking, by the way, Torino and Parma are playing for a massive relegation game. Big. Voivoda just scored. I used to have him in Fantacalcio.
Really?
Yeah, he literally just scored.
Oh my god.
Anyway, let's get through results. Verona tying with Spezia. Verona haven't played football in about 17 games. I think Crotone, Inter, we all know how that went. And Inter finally putting that final nail in the coffin, let's say, for the other teams and winning the league. It was actually more Atalanta doing it to themselves. But then Milan Benevento 2-0. Luca, do you wanna tell us a bit about the game and especially about that little Ibra flick? And also, do you know what happened to Donnarumma before the game with the ultras?
Yeah. So everyone listening. Yeah. So from what I understood, Gigio was confronted by a group of Curva Sud fans, so ultras of Milan, of course. And I don't know if there's exact details of what was said, but I know that they were essentially just pressuring him to re-sign the contract and renew the contract. And aside from what their stance was, I think it's quite clear that that's totally unacceptable. In such a moment of the season where it's so tense, we need to qualify for the Champions League after such a successful season, and now we're in the midst of it. You can't have that kind of situation where fans are putting so much pressure on a player. And you guys know, if you've listened to the other podcasts, that I agree with the fact that Gigio is asking for way too much and it's out of line. But that's not the moment to take care of it. Even Maldini said that at this moment, all contract renewals are on hold because there's only one priority, and that's getting to Champions League. So Arda, I'm sure you agree with that, right?
Yeah, I think it's just inappropriate on so many levels for a bunch of fans who are not in any way linked professionally or in an official way with a club to go there, threaten a player. Apparently, Donnarumma was on the verge of tears, and apparently some big words were thrown about.
And let's be honest, these guys are delinquents. They're not Oxford scholars, so it's not like I don't think they have
the actual Curva Suva are all like Harvard PhDs, and you just insulted them.
If they were, then I would say, okay, give them advice. It's good.
Yeah, to be fair, Luke and I once went to like a thing, and it was full of Curva people, and yeah, let's just say we didn't really feel like
I'm not going to comment because I don't feel like being physically attacked next time at the stadium.
You're in London. I'm not.
Exactly. I can seek asylum here.
They didn't look like Nobel Prize winners. Let's just say that. Anyway, yeah, I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's inappropriate for the timings because, what are you gonna get out of it if he was in tense before, now he's going to be even more tense against Juve. If he makes one little mistake against Juve, he's going to be eaten alive, basically, by the media. And apparently they were insinuating that if he doesn't sign a contract by the end of this week, he shouldn't be playing against Juve, which is just, out of line. I think out of line in any way possible. So, yeah, on that thing, I don't want to give it... I don't even want to give it enough attention. I think the Donnarumma discussion is a future one. But yeah, do you want to talk about the game?
Yeah, I won't say too much. It's Milan Benevento at the end of the day. But of course, good result considering we had a lot of pressure on us after two losses in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I mean, Benevento had their chances. Amy and I were talking about it on the day of the game. We deserved to win. We had a lot of chances. And that's the only kind of negative takeaway I have from the match, that considering how many chances we had, we should have put that game to bed earlier. Also because we've seen multiple times during the season that sometimes we're winning 2-0. Like I remember Cagliari, we do some kind of stupid mistake, red card, or we concede a stupid goal, and then you spend like the last 50 minutes of the game really suffering and risking like to tie the game.
Even the Sassuolo game 2 weeks ago, where you were 1-0 up, controlling the game. Basically, Sassuolo was nowhere, and then in 10 minutes, the whole game changed.
Yeah, thank you, Amy, for reminding us. Nice one.
Exactly. So honestly, just happy with the result. Happy Çalhanoğlu is back on form, and happy to see Theo got a goal because he's also had a really bad run of form recently. And as Arda mentioned earlier, the only other thing I have to say is that Ibra pulled out one of the most incredible plays I've ever seen a 30-plus-year-old man do on a football pitch.
It reminded me of a young Luca Hofmeister at 5-a-side.
Oh, well.
Hey, this is all
I love to hear that comparison.
At my house. This is all that remains at Çalhanoğlu at my house. Emiliano. Sorry, go on.
No, but Ibra, I don't know if anyone listening hasn't seen it, please go watch it because really, really incredible. But yeah, happy with the result.
The funny thing was the recipient of that pass. I think Castillejo had, if the amount of talent in that pass was 10 times more than what Castillejo has.
Right. Question. Apparently, Lucas Vazquez has been linked with Milan on a free transfer, but he earns $5 million a year.
Right away.
If you can, just go for it.
I mean, how much does Castillejo earn? Probably around 3 million, 2 million.
Yeah, and he hasn't played probably one Champions League game ever.
Yeah, or you could, like, I've also heard that there are some offers for Castillejo, right? So if you can get Lucas Vazquez on a free, then just the money you could get from Castillejo by selling him will cover the extra salary for a couple of years, right? So I think totally worth it.
I 100% agree. Yeah, him and I think Castillejo's good. I think the fact that he has a yellow card and is not going to play against Juve is going to be so good. But yeah, moving on to the results. I'm just gonna go quickly, Johnny. We'll talk about Lazio loss because obviously you want to talk about it, and we'll integrate it with the Champions League chat. Okay. So yeah, Lazio for free against Genoa, Napoli tying to Cagliari. We'll talk about these three results actually because we got Sassuolo Atalanta 1-0 as well in just a second. Bologna Fiorentina 3-0. Bologna actually Fiorentina probably shot themselves in the foot because they were always leading, and then Palacio by the way Belotti just scored but it was offside. Palacio with a hat trick out of the blue. Incredible player, honestly. I think this is a great thing about Serie A. The players, when they have class about them, even though they're old and maybe their physique doesn't hold up, you can still express your type of football and your footballing abilities in Serie A. Udinese Juve, we briefly mentioned it, 2-1 to Juventus. And then Sampdoria Roma, I think was one of the. I think it's again, I think I don't know how to describe it, but it's the end for Roma. They're out of it.
Yeah, it's absolutely the end.
I
feel like people have kind of been overlooking how bad Roma is doing, right? But I remember maybe a month ago, we were talking with Matt about the managers, and he was very adamant that Fonseca should get confirmed. On the other hand, I said that he should be fired. And now it looks like Sarri will take his place. But come on, they just lost to United 6-2. They're minus 9 points from Lazio, and Lazio has a game in hand. It's total disaster of the season.
Only 2 points ahead of Sassuolo as well.
I personally think that Sassuolo will easily overtake them. I to a certain extent think they don't want to play the Conference League. To be honest, I don't think they do.
I totally forgot about that.
Conference League goes to 6th place, not 7th.
So
I think
isn't 7th place like a Europa League playoff? Or it used to be.
Used to be. I think they changed this year. I think the only league that gets the 7th place is Prem, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, La Liga. La Liga gets the 7th place. All the others are 6th.
So we only have six European spots now.
4. Yeah, there's 4 Champions League, 1 Europa League, and 1 Conference League.
No way. So there's no more 2 Europa League ones.
Yeah, actually, I think we discussed this once before.
It's not. It's only 1 spot.
Yeah.
I already missed the Super League. Anyway, Roma. If you guys saw the game, absolutely disastrous. Sampdoria played well. Don't get me wrong. I think Sampdoria could. It's one of those surprise teams. I think next year, if they can keep consistent, they could do something really interesting. Their team is not too bad on paper. Obviously, nothing too exciting, but they played. I think a really good game. Just the way they played was really good. But on the other hand, the Roma was terrible. Dzeko even missed a penalty. I don't even know if Dzeko's going to be there next year. For his sake, because I really like the guy. I think he should stay because, honestly, he does well there. And with Sarri, especially whatever manager comes in, he can't do any worse than this year. And he can't get less playing time.
And Majoral can't be the starting striker for Roma. Majoral is okay as a backup striker who plays in Europe, but he's definitely not that caliber.
Definitely. But Roma, super disappointing, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Honestly, out of the Roma players as well, if I look at their team, it's not a bad team, but it's nothing amazing.
The defense is horrendous. If you're starting Brian Cristante,
but that's because of injuries, bro. That's because of injuries, though.
I don't know.
No, not because of injuries. We were saying at Sky that barely they've played because Smalling has been out for a while. But still, even with the 3 starting ones, they don't play well.
The foundations of the team are good in certain spots, but there's a lot of spots that really need help.
So goalkeeper we'd say is mediocre because any of the
goalkeeper is fine. Goalkeeper, you can get away with it in Serie. It's not a big deal.
And defense, Mancini, I don't think is good enough to be alone. He can't carry a defense basically.
No, but I would definitely keep him. He's a good player.
Yeah. But
the guy who
evaluating
really confused me is Ibanez. I don't get how. I hear some Roma fans, they go crazy for him, but every time I watch him play, he's a half and half.
Honestly, he could play one game.
I agree. They all really much
against United. I think this is the thing. When it gets to the real show, the real stage, these kind of players really show that they're not that good.
Against I don't rate
Ibanez. Just make a ton of mistakes.
I don't rate Ibanez more than Gabbia, right? To be honest, Ibanez and Gabbia, they pretty much achieved the same thing.
To me, is the equivalent to Toloi. Solid, but
no, Toloi is
much better.
No, but he plays Champions League games without shitting his pants. Come on.
Yeah, fair enough. But what I mean is Toloi, though, you don't think about Toloi is so good. You know what I mean? It's one of those players. But
you don't think Toloi's gonna.
You know who they are.
He's actually had a really good season. He was overshadowed by Romero, but this season he's been solid.
Over Atalanta's defense has been.
All right, everyone. I didn't know you guys were all lawyers.
We might finish second.
Anyway, I'm glad everyone of the Toloi Foundation has showed up today. But anyway, let's move on. Torino Parma, we're watching right now. Well, I'm watching right now, so we'll talk about later if we're done by the time it's done. But the Champions League race, guys, again, is super interesting. This is incredible. A series of results changes everything. So Milan back to second because Atalanta, Napoli both slip up and they both get draws against Cagliari. Napoli drew with a last-second draw by Nahitan Nandez. Also, Pavoletti was about to score an incredible goal, but what a save by Meret. So who knows how that could have ended. And I think they didn't have João Pedro, am I right? Cagliari? Or they didn't have him for most of the game.
João Pedro didn't play.
Exactly. So their best player was out. Atalanta, basically absolute suicide by Gollini, who got a red card straight away. And just in general, we were still up for most of the game with 1-0 with Gozens. Incredible player. And then Muriel also missed a penalty. I think he has a really weird penalty technique. Last time against Bologna as well, his penalty was like super close to the keeper. And this time conceded didn't get screwed over. But then Juve, like it could have been so different. If Juve lost right now, I think Milan could have gone into the Juve game a bit more, let's say, chilled out. But still, let's look at the upcoming. Yeah, what's up?
It wouldn't surprise me of that Juve game if they did a nice, what we call in Italia, biscotto. Because I think a draw is great for both teams because they both go to 70 points. And even if Napoli wins, like you're tied with.
Wait.
Napoli.
Juve.
Yeah, but Lazio can overtake.
Juve would have stayed at. 67.
No. I mean the upcoming game.
Okay.
Milan, Juve, Milan.
I thought you meant Udinese, Juve.
No.
Amy, we have a head-to-head over Milan, but not over Juve.
Amy, I think also in our case, we don't want to risk. Like, I think we're going to go to Torino and we want to get the 3 points just because we want to avoid playing Atalanta for Champions League.
Sure.
I think that's the thing that you have to completely avoid because I already know that's going to end terribly.
Yeah.
My hope is that Inter takes the game seriously and tries to smash them.
They definitely will. I think
I want to hear...
Because Sassuolo is going to, scan Sassuolo. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Come on. I could bet.
I have what the hell are the bubbles?
I could bet a lot of money. Even see the bubbles are green. The slides is green with me. That's what the bubbles are.
There's a West Ham fan confirmed.
You can tell I'm tired because I don't know what the fuck I did. Anyway, can I be honest with you? We'll look at them a bit more, but I think out of all these teams, you know who's the most screwed? I think Lazio.
What?
Because I'll tell you why. Because Fiorentina wants to get a good result, and with Vlahovic on fire, we want to get a result and finally get their minds at peace of being safe.
Dude, we're better than Fiorentina. We're gonna shove.
Yeah, I know, but but you're playing what away to Firenze. We'll see. I personally think Fiorentina is winning. Yeah. But wait, man, I'll move on. Parma, I think if they're not mathematically relegated by that game, we'll be playing with an absolute knife.
I think Parma's done.
If they lose tonight?
I think they're done, yeah.
Okay.
They have 20 points.
Okay, so let's say they win that one. Roma, I think, like Juve with Inter, even though they have nothing to play for, will be more than glad to ruin your party.
Yeah, sure.
The derby is a trophy in Rome. So
listen.
Get a star.
Sure, it's the only game they will take seriously. However, think about the Lazio players. When they actually have something to play for and it's a derby, how much more they're going to put into the game. So I'm not too worried about
I think one thing, though, Fonseca won't want to imagine ending the season and you haven't won a single game against the big matches, against the big teams. So, like,
the guy is finished. I don't think he gives it. His players certainly don't give a damn. Then there's Sassuolo. Come on.
And Sassuolo is going to be a tough game.
If you consider that you guys are going to play Torino between Roma and Sassuolo.
Sorry, imagine me making a prediction based purely on my opinion and Jonathan correcting me on my own opinion. Imagine that. Anyway,
Atalanta's in the best.
I'll ask you, Johnny. You say we have the hardest games.
Okay, yeah, Johnny. I'll ask you then. Who do you think has the hardest games, and who do you think?
Milan. You have Torino, who's in the relegation battle.
I'm just asking, guys. I'm just asking.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said last. We maybe have.
Why is there? Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on, Johnny. So you think Milan has the hardest, and who has the easiest?
Certainly, second is Juventus.
Easiest Napoli.
Yeah.
Easiest Atalanta, in my opinion.
No, I think it's first Milan, then Juve, then Lazio, and then the other two don't really matter. Atalanta has Milan, but I don't want to go fake, but maybe Milan's done by then too. You never know.
I say Atalanta just because those first three games to me look like games where Atalanta just runs over those teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, Atalanta and Napoli are both inconsistent, and that's why I always said Napoli should have form of but look, already this Giornata, the past one they screwed up. I
heard some
lose next week.
I heard some Napoli fans saying that they had the best team this season and that without injuries, they would have won the league. So something along those lines.
It's ridiculous.
And
they can't even.
Yeah, Napoli fans. They can't even get a 3-game win streak. Like,
also, guys, Napoli fans.
I'm going to continue saying this. They have on paper a team that could have won the league this year, I think.
I also think they complain about injuries so much. Like, of course, I'm biased, but Milan, we've had much more injuries than them.
Yeah,
and to more important players. And we're not going to say we would have won the Scudetto without injuries. Of course not. How the fuck is Napoli going to win the Scudetto without injuries?
Yeah, fair enough. But I still think can someone agree with me saying on paper they had a team that could fight?
No, I think they were third best team.
I think
they would have never. I don't think they would have ever won the Scudetto.
Yeah,
like with fully fit, lucky. I think Inter was just by far the best team this year, and they had a good team. Yeah, I definitely agree that they have a team to be top 3. Their team is better than Milan's on paper.
Okay. All right. Well, Amy, I'll ask you, who do you think has the easiest and who do you think has the hardest set of games coming up?
I think easiest for me has to be Napoli, maybe because Atalanta with that Benevento game, you never know. I do think they're going to win, but you never know, let's say. And then the hardest, for me, it's quite close between Milan and Juve. Because if you look, I mean, they have to play each other, so that those games cancel out. Then Juve has to play us, which I don't think Conte is gonna say, yeah, here's 3 points, go ahead, get Champions League. I don't think it's gonna be like
if
that.
There's one game this year that you really have to win again, it has to be that one.
Amy, tell me I'm wrong, but that would be a second Scudetto for you guys, right? Knocking Juve out of the Champions League.
That would be
even better than the Scudetto.
It would be worth waiting. It would be worth waiting 9 years. It would be worth 10 years. It would be worth 9 years of being Juve's bitch, wouldn't it?
And it'll also make you forget about
Just
Champions League, I think, because this season you guys won the Scudetto, so of course you're incredibly happy. But there is that little, it is a bit tainted by the UCL exit. So I think this would kind of cover that.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think the Scudetto is. The season as a whole, maybe.
No, the season as a whole, not the Scudetto.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm saying that when you look at the whole season, of course you're still incredibly happy, but there is that little thing in the back of your mind saying,
yeah, I agree, and I'm scared for next season especially because
there's a view of it. I think it depends, guys. They're getting screwed.
I think if they get Champions League or not, I think one thing's for sure: Ronaldo has to go. He has to go.
I don't think Ronaldo has to go. I think Pirlo and. I think Pirlo, I would keep him if he gets Champions League.
No.
I would get...
No.
I don't know. I think it depends. It all depends on the replacement.
He lost to Benevento at home.
Bro, we lost to Benevento.
I agree that
he has... Look at his team, bro. Even his reserves would be starting in Benevento.
Yeah, Johnny, but I've said this from the start. It's not his fault. Of course, it's his fault for the results, but it's not his fault he's there. They put a manager with zero experience there.
He should have never been there.
Exactly. Yeah, he thought he was going to do well.
Why would you keep him?
Yeah, why should he keep him? It's not he was forced there, we should keep him there. I mean...
No, I know, because I think that he will be a good manager. And I think that since you've already taken such a massive step in doing this, if you don't have a world-class replacement lined up, which in my opinion means Allegri, Zidane, Guardiola, one of those 3. If you don't have one of those 3 lined up, at that point, just take the time to rebuild, because I think Pirlo will be a world-class manager eventually.
I don't know. Ex-football players are overrated, bro. You never know who's going to be good.
I know. Of course, I don't know. That's my opinion. But Johnny, if you don't get Guardiola, Zidane, or Allegri, who are you going to get that's like a notable improvement?
I mean, Mourinho's not going to improve you, but the fans are going to be excited and good players will want to go.
Mourinho's not going to go to Juve.
He actually said
he said it. Yeah, he said
oh, really?
He said if an Italian rival club wants me, I'm open, yeah.
He's open to joining.
This guy, he just wants... I tell you what he wants. He's chasing a bag. He knows.
But
Mourinho's career...
Mourinho and Ronaldo, they don't get along, right?
Apparently they patched things up over the years. I mean,
to be honest, I don't think Ronaldo's there.
There was one guy that cried and when he was at Madrid and he left. What was it? Was it Ramos? I don't know, some guy like...
Almost everyone cries when Mourinho leaves, except for Tottenham.
The only guy who was loyal to him was Kane, bro.
Ramos was angry when Ozil was sold, I think.
Yeah.
That was where there was a bit of a
And
disagreement.
in the end,
there.
they started winning Champions League after that. So what can we say? Florentino.
Guys, if we can agree on one thing, Paratici is gone.
Yeah,
You
I think Nedved could be
And also
gone.
Agnelli is.
Also,
I know the thing is,
Parachi could be gone with
just because it's a family.
Did you guys see the Juve, the Suarez scandal videos coming out?
Oh yeah.
No.
Mate, those are really
Bambino
bad.
mangia cocumella.
Apparently, there's like, Jonathan, did you say no?
I didn't see him.
The videos of like, the Suarez exam scandal.
Yeah, of
Apparently,
course.
there's a camera in the room, and you can see the whole footage of like him going in, taking this exam, absolutely butchering the questions, and at the end, the examiner's taking pictures of him. Like, oh hi, I'm a big fan.
Honestly, though, I'm glad this scandal happened because imagine you were with Suarez.
You guys,
Instead of
Suarez would have ripped up. Higuain's record.
Suarez he would have scored 30. He wouldn't have scored more than 30
easily.
40
I mean, even 30 is a stretch because Ronaldo has
penalties.
If Suarez was there, then I think Juve can win the league.
Easily.
Like, honestly, I think it makes that much of a difference. Even with Pirlo as a manager, I think just having a player like Suarez next to Ronaldo, my God.
They still have the second or third best defense, so like that's not gonna get any worse if you get Suarez. It's just a matter of getting
you're totally right.
The
goals conceded weren't the issue. It's all the chances they've missed.
I'm scared.
Dybala inexistent.
I'm scared of what they're gonna do in midfield. If they get a good midfielder like this Pogba, recent Pogba.
Back.
By the way, apparently Juve has like 600 million in debt. By the way, so even all this chat about them getting Donnarumma, where the hell are they getting the money from?
It's fiat. They have unlimited money.
They get him on a free anyways, right?
I actually heard of
we gotta pay him. Apparently, they want to give like 20 million to Raiola.
Yeah, the offer they gave, the offer they made to Donnarumma is 10 million a year to him, 20 million signing bonus to Raiola, and 3 million a year to Donnarumma's father. Yeah, that's what I read. Like,
I mean, as you said, just make some changes in the fiat balance sheets. Just a little modification, and Juve gets 500 million out of nowhere.
I'm so glad this is when we get shut down as a podcast. All right, should we move on to our next segment of the day, which was the actually, we have a table, and then we'll go to.
I'll just say one thing I had on my mind. Juve midfield. I think they'll get Locatelli eventually.
Who?
Yeah,
Locatelli.
I don't think he's the one who makes.
I think he's
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. But I think he's a player that's like has Juve written all over him.
The thing that frees you up so much because they don't actually have a CDM now, like a ball playing CDM. They have Arthur and Bentancur, but like they don't have a pure CDM.
I think Arthur next year.
Bentancur can play that position, bro.
Exactly. I think
over these years he can.
If you put Locatelli at CDM, then you have Bentancur, Arthur, Rabiot, Ramsey to play the other two positions. Yeah. Like, it gives you so much more freedom.
Yeah.
By selling Matuidi, these guys hurt themselves so much. They actually.
My Fanta Club legend
this year. Yeah.
Also, Emre Can.
Yeah, Emre Can. I think Emre Can was just thrown away like a piece of garbage. Poor him.
Although he eliminated Dortmund from Champions League,
even Khedira was so like useful to them.
Khedira was done. Like
I agree with that.
He's been injured since 2011. I think
Khedira is a hero.
He was quite useful though when he used.
Khedira in his prime was really
he was one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yeah, the problem is he would get injured every other week, and he would be out for 6 or 7 months.
Anyway, guys, let's move on to the table. Amy, talk us. You would be so happy to talk about the table today, but tell us about the table, buddy.
I'll quickly go through it. Let's just get it out of the way. So, of course, we see the tiny logo on the right-hand side of the number one. Yeah, it's official now, so I can stop worrying about the season. Then we have 3 teams tied with 69 points, which that's going to be a disaster. Comparing head-to-head. I don't even know what it goes to after head-to-head. There are 3 teams that are tied on points. Then it's Napoli on 67, Lazio on 64, of course, that game in hand against Torino, that's going to get played in 2045, it seems like. They've been postponing it. Every week it seems like it's in a month's time. Then Roma, disaster of the season, 55 points, 7th place, only 2 points behind. We have Sassuolo in 8th place. they manage to get top 7, really good on De Zerbi. I think he might even be gone from Sassuolo. Maybe I don't know which club actually needs maybe even Napoli. I don't know. With that whole De Laurentiis Gattuso situation.
If anything, if Napoli needs anything, I think it's a manager that gives you certainties.
A new owner, I think they need.
I don't know if you guys heard about that, but De Zerbi was talking to Shakhtar.
Oh yeah, I heard that. It's a really
Money
good opportunity,
talks, bro.
You get very young players,
Brazilian.
promising players, a lot of money, and an easy trophy. So it's like as a young manager, it's
to be honest, if I were him, I would take it. I think it's a nice step up. Also because I think he's achieved pretty much all you can achieve with Sassuolo. I don't know if they can really take another step up.
Sassuolo go to Europa League a few years ago.
But it's not as if they can invest. Yeah, but Jonathan, back then is like a banter year for Milan, and we took Milan.
True. The league is different nowadays.
Yeah,
Lazio finished like 9th at year.
Yeah,
I mean, it's as simple as saying that. It's as simple as saying that with Shakhtar he'll be playing the Champions League, and with Sassuolo, like you'll never ever play Champions League.
Yeah, and they don't have the money to invest into players.
Not to the players. He'll coach some incredible players. Shakhtar somehow have some insane scouts.
By the way, game done. Torino's won.
Torino's won.
Oh, that's good.
That's really. I'm happy. I think they're almost gone, eh? 34.
Parma gone. If they're mathematically gone, that's incredible for Lazio.
No, I think they're not gone because of Benevento. I think.
Yeah.
Well, then you know what Lazio is good at.
Yeah,
Lazio often we relegate teams. It's time to give.
Parma. Never mind. I made a mistake. No, I think Parma's officially in Serie B now.
Yeah, the faces.
Yeah, because Toro goes to 34 points, and Cagliari is 32 points. So they're basically 12 points behind with 12 points to play.
So what's the head-to-head?
Maybe the head-to-head with Cagliari is in their favor, but I highly doubt it.
No, Cagliari won the last one for free. So let's see if I won before that.
Not gonna lie, the faces I was seeing on the screen.
Guys, Parma's gone. Parma's gone.
Officially gone.
So has a team with nothing to play for.
Yeah, but Johnny, wait. You know what happens to teams that are relegated?
Huh?
The players want to be sold, so we usually play quite well after we're relegated.
Because the players want to go on vacation.
Hey, guys, isn't it true that when teams get
we're playing against Radu, Leva, we're playing against Butchers. They don't want to get hurt. We're gonna say, okay, relax. We're gonna play it easy. And you don't have to send me to the hospital.
Bremer got 6.5. I'm not winning a Fanta.
Okay, Arda, I'm gonna switch it up a bit here. I'm gonna do one of your quick fire questions. Yeah. If any, will you take one player from Parma now that the relegated prices are gonna be low?
Gervinho.
Yeah, the Romanian guy.
Amy Gervinho, that makes sense. No, Amy, I would do it just because you don't have to play against him anymore.
Gervinho's washed up.
Gervinho, when he plays against Inter, he scores 4 goals each match guaranteed.
He's gonna start scoring own goals.
If he goes anywhere else in Serie A, then you're gonna concede again. So I would take him just as damage limitation.
Well, one thing's for sure, Luca. We don't get a choice, but Conti's coming back next year.
Oh,
we're not really getting a choice there. So that's always nice.
I think Crotone has more attractive players.
I think
because Crotone is like a great attack surrounded by a mound of
nothing. If you really have to do something, I think someone like Sepe as a second goalkeeper.
I would just take like Zirkzee, the guy that they got from Bayern.
Zirkzee was on loan. No, he's on loan.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll take Dennis Mann because he looks decent. And
I like it.
Just use him as a fourth backup left winger for Milan since we already have so many.
I thought Kuchka was younger. He's
but Johnny, but we have Leao, Rebic, Hauge. Wouldn't see the pitch.
Dude, I actually like Hauge. I'm surprised. I mean, we're picking for DePaul, which makes sense because DePaul is like an absolute baller. But I personally really like Hauge. Like for 10 million, I'd take him in a heartbeat at Lazio.
Oh yeah, he's nice. I like him. I think I don't know what he did to make either Pioli pissed off or the management pissed off, or if they just don't like him. But I think he's a good player.
I don't think anyone's pissed anyone off. I think it's just a fact of.
I think maybe he needs like the summer to kind of adapt to being a Serie A player because you can tell that. I mean, he came from the Norwegian league. It's just a completely different standard of play. Yeah. So I think maybe I hope we keep him, have faith in him this summer. And, he's not going to go to the Euros anyways. so he can do like intense training and hopefully take that step up.
Okay. Yeah, so Parma's gone. Yeah, do you want to finish off the table quickly?
Yeah, I'll quickly finish up the table.
Yeah,
we were finished off on after Sassuolo, I think. So it's Sampdoria in 9th place with 45 points. Last place, Udinese in 11th place with 39 points. Tied with them is Bologna in 12th place, of course. And in 13th place, it's Genoa with 36 points. In 14th, it's Fiorentina with 35. In 15th is Spezia with 34. Then, of course, we talked about this a bit ago. I think this is going to switch up a bit. So I think it's now Torino in 17th on 34 points, tied with Spezia. And it's Cagliari in 17th with 32. Benevento in 18th with 31. Parma and Crotone are now officially relegated. Parma with 20 and Crotone with 18 points. So that's the roundup of the Serie A table.
Yeah, by the way, one last thing before we move on to the Juve thing. Apparently, so Pellegrini's second born was due in this weekend, and his wife actually had to go to the hospital to give birth, and so he missed the Sampdoria game. And apparently on social media, Roma fans have been giving him shit, saying he shouldn't be captain of the team because he went to see his second born son. His second born. How do you even say it? His wife's
second born child.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Also his performances have been
second born was just for noun. Yeah, so I think it's time for Milan to splash for cashing at Pellegrini.
I don't know. I think just don't give time of day to these idiots who are saying that in his comments.
Are you on Pellegrini at Milan?
No, I'm just saying. I was just joking. But what I'm saying is this: just indicating how crazy Roma is as an atmosphere to work in in the football world. Roma, I mean the team, not Rome, the city, because Roma City is already bad. But Lazio, I think, is already a bit better. But Rome, the team is crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy to.
That's why it's so hard to win there.
Yeah, I think if you win there, like they did, you win once for like 20 years, and it's like the greatest thing ever.
But right, one thing that's true. I just want to say one thing about winning in is also to do with Inter. When Conte said that the reason why this was so hard is because these players were not used to winning, it kind of like led me to realize something where I never really thought or believed much in a winner's mentality. This is all bullshit, made up by the media. But then Lazio, we always have the same team, right? But before, we never won anything, and we never got into Champions League, and we would always bottle it. Remember, we'd always lose in the last minute, lose to bad teams. We lost to Inter in the last game. And then after the 2019 season, we won silverware, we won Coppa Italia, and since then, we started winning in the last minute. We started winning big games. Overall, it seemed like every single player, they changed. They stopped making as many mistakes. I don't know, all these kind of, things you'd relate to a more winner mentality. So I definitely believe in the existence of football right now, and I think Inter is also a perfect example of that. After years of banter era, they just dominated.
All right.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, what's up?
I agree with Johnny with what he said overall. I think, how he said, like, our team is a perfect example how, like, a few games this season, we just said we're going to win this game and just went ahead and won it almost magic, let's say. Should we move to the next segment?
Moving on to, this is probably going to be a clip, but yeah, guys, like we did last time for Juve, we couldn't miss out on the champions, so we're going to do a tier list for the champions of Italy. I'm going to keep on saying the fact that they are champions of Italy because it's not going to happen next year because they are champions of Italy this year. So the champions of Italy, there's the team of them. The Inter Milan team with someone we know as well, Filip Stankovic, who hopefully will be watching. But yeah, so we got the whole squad here. And then we got our categories. We got all-star, meaning this person is an all-star. This guy is the core of a team, and he was really good this year. Top performers, so solid performances from the player. Good performances, average, underwhelming, and flop. First one we have is one and only Nicolò Barella. Guys, I think we can all agree he's all-star / top performer, but it's got to be all-star.
All-star.
I think
all-star.
He's one of those players maybe where if the spotlight is not on him, people might forget, but he's just so important to him.
His full name is Nicolò, best midfielder in Serie A Barella. So I want you to call him like that.
He wins the league once, and
so creative.
They just won't shut up. Jesus Christ.
Oh, guys, by the way, I just I quit the stream because my computer was out of battery. I had to unplug the lamp to plug the charger in, and I unplugged the Wi-Fi.
Nice. Anyway, next up, Bastoni. What a player he has developed into. Incredible performances. I think I was rethinking his position at the Euros. I think at the Euros he could really have an important position for Italy. But guys, top performer or All-Star? I think top performer.
Good.
I think top performer.
Top performer.
Marcelo, best.
I hope Italy calls him up. If he's starting, he's going to get cooked.
He is definitely.
He's going to get cooked.
If
Italy plays against him, we're getting free real estate. He's going to get cooked that game.
I'm scared about I'm feeling the 4 at the back.
By the way, I heard rumors apparently that because of the financial troubles Inter in, even if they won the league, they're gonna have to sell one player, and apparently it's between Brozovic and Lautaro.
Oh, I'd sell Brozovic. It's not even close.
I'd sell Bastoni.
I think it was between Brozovic and another guy, or just Lautaro. I don't know which one it was. I don't remember.
Brozo is the best playmaker we have, but he's not world class. Like, he's just a good player who does his job.
Should we put him in top performer?
No, I don't know. I think for this season, I think good. Because if you put him in top performer, I think a lot more players fit into that category, and it just starts getting a whole line of.
Well, this next player is
you guys want to.
This next player is someone who's known as the right back killer at Inter. Every time he put a new right back, he would take his place. I think he started off quite well the league, where we had like 3 or 4 goals, something like that. And he got really badly injured, didn't he? And obviously when Hakimi got the ball rolling, so he is his place was.
He played more as a centre back this season. In the beginning of the season, when we had. All of our defense was out for either COVID or injuries.
That's where you won for Cagliari game at the start of the season or something.
I think a Fiorentina game as well, maybe.
Probably.
Was that last season?
No, Fiorentina. I think Sanchez won it with a header in the last second. I can't remember.
Anyway, I think we can put him into average, like nothing too special. But obviously,
I think he did his job.
Yeah, exactly. He had 3 goals this year in 16 games. That's not too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. All right. Danilo D'Ambrosio is in the average section. Matteo Darmian, I think the last performances and those few games he's won for you could put him into good. Just because
I think even top,
You think so?
He gave us 6 points.
I wouldn't go as far as saying top performer.
Yeah, I'd say good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But special mention him. I put him in the middle here, but yeah, good.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to do that well. But at the same time, wing backs under Conte, they just flourish. So I guess it could have been predictable to some extent.
Yeah. All right, Stefan De Vrij, guys. Well, I think it's between top performer and all-star again. Incredible. He's been, defender of the season last year in the same league as Koulibaly, Manolas,
Romagnoli.
Romagnoli. It's not easy to get that prize. And I think this year, I think he's probably going to win it again, isn't he? It's between him and Skriniar. No?
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's going to win it again.
The thing is, Skriniar is a better defender, a pure defender, but De Vrij is a more complete defender. De Vrij can do so much more with the ball.
De Vrij doesn't in some way catch the eye. He doesn't have that cool thing about him. He doesn't have the tattoos. He doesn't, but he's just, he doesn't have that image to him, but he's got he's just such a sick player.
Do you like men with tattoos? Is that
no? But I'm saying, you know how certain footballers have swag to them.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question. I would put De Vrij in top performer, but do we want all 3 center backs in there, or do we want?
Yeah, I think Skriniar is going to be on all-star maybe.
Yeah, I think it's pushing.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay,
yeah. So De Vrij definitely in top performer then.
All right, next up, Christian Eriksen.
I think
average.
Story his.
Good or average, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible story though that he was out of a team and now he goes on and he wins a couple. Well, against what was it, Napoli that he tied and Crotone scored. But yeah, pretty average. I think at the start of the season I would have given him a flop, but he slowly and carefully is back to playing and back to performing.
I'm gonna even argue underwhelming just because of the player that he actually is and what he actually contributed to the season. I think it has been underwhelming.
I think the Coppa Italia thing, the Coppa Italia and the Napoli game.
He scored 3 goals. Like Eriksen is a player who in Serie A can get you 10 goals, 20 assists, right? Like if Luis Alberto, Papu Gomez in the recent years have gotten 15 plus assists, Eriksen can do that. And partly or mainly it's Conte's fault, but I think when you talk about a player like Christian Eriksen, I think it has been underwhelming.
All right, next up, Roberto Gagliardini. We know.
I want to hear with Amy. Do you agree, or do you think that he's done better?
I think you could put him in average, especially with how good he's been. Like considering he put Vidal on the bench. Like I know it's not the same Vidal we've seen at Juve, at Bayern, or Barca, everything, but it's still like Conte's favorite player of all time, probably. But yeah, I think you could argue average or underwhelming. Like if you look at the whole season, I think underwhelming is more fitting. But in the last 6 months where he really played, I think he's average or even good maybe in the last 6 months. But whatever you want, I agree with underwhelming.
All right. Well, maybe by seeing the other players, we might move some players around. We'll see. All right, moving on. Roberto Gagliardini. The thing is this: I want to give him a flop, but I think I've got the same evaluation for him as I have for Bernardeschi. My expectations for him weren't high, so I just put underwhelming.
Yeah,
I think
same thing.
He's come in, and like if you're 1-0 up and you need to defend the result, I think he's a really good player. He can do that for you. But if I think he started in the game against Shakhtar, if I'm not mistaken, where the creativity in the midfield just disappears. Like you just play really boring football around the back and don't really create any chances. So I think underwhelming is fitting.
All right, next up, Achraf Hakimi. Sorry for pronunciation. Anyway, Hakimi, he's got to be top performer, and I think just by a couple of mistakes where he wasn't good enough, don't make him an all-star. But still, the future is quite bright for this one. And Amy, do you see him in the future staying at Inter for like a long time, or do you see him as a passing top player? Like, do you see a big team sniping him in a couple of years?
He did an interview, I think, yesterday where he said he'd love to play for Real Madrid again.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's an instant sign of he's never going to be an Inter legend to play 10 more years with us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If he can do 3-4 more really good seasons, I'll be happy.
All right, moving on.
I think maybe we could see him move away when Conte leaves, something like that.
Yeah.
Moving on then. By the way, I don't think we'll do all the goalkeepers. Like, I think we'll just do Andanovic because the other ones we haven't even seen. Anyway, Andanovic, guys, this will be interesting. How do you evaluate him? Because I think he was very good for the first half of the season. Like, I've seen some incredible things from him. But then some games recently hasn't been that good. I put him under good, though.
The thing I've seen no one mention that it was like said about other players is how he had COVID. Like if you see Çalhanoğlu, the first half of the season was insane. Second half of the season, he got COVID and just fell off a cliff. Same thing happened with Andanovic. I think he still is a good keeper. You can still play him as a starting keeper in Serie A, but the mistakes he's been making, I think he cost us basically 4 points against Napoli and Spezia. So I think average is fair enough for him, I think.
I'd say good still because he does have the highest number of clean sheets, which is obviously not down to just him, but I think he's got to have a hand in it, you know what I mean? I'd say good, guys.
Overall, Amy, talking about the COVID thing, I think it might be just because one of the main side effects is probably how it affects your stamina, and when you're an outfield player, you probably feel it a lot more than as a keeper. Of course, I'm not really in a position to assume how it's affected Andanovic, so you're probably right. Personally, I'm kind of torn between good and average. I agree with what both of you guys have said. I think since he is the keeper with most clean sheets, I'd probably put him in good.
Yeah, I put him just for that, just because the numbers speak for themselves, you know what I mean? All right, can we all agree on good?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's do this quickly then.
Yeah.
Call it off, guys. Flop. Lautaro, top performer. All-star, actually. All-star.
top IMO.
No,
Top
Top
performer.
or
Put him
top
top.
or all-star?
He got him a lot of points, didn't
yeah,
he?
yeah. He missed way too many goals.
Alright,
Especially in the
top
season
performer.
where his finishing wasn't like anywhere near good enough.
All right, I think this next guy doesn't need any introductions. He sent out a little quote to Ibra basically today saying that his god, Lukaku's god, i.e. the Christian god, has chosen the true king, and it's him. Not very humble. Also, Ibra is a bit older than you and has won a lot more than you. So
I love
shut your
Ibra,
mouth.
and Ibra is better, but I don't think we can talk about players being humble if you mention Ibra.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Lukaku. When I be honest with you, I like Lukaku too much to hate him. It's such a shame he plays for Inter because I think he's such a nice guy and such a nice player. But he plays for Inter. That's his problem. Perisic, I think underwhelming. I think the fact that Bayern wins a treble with him and they don't even buy him just says a lot about the player.
I would say
Bayern
underwhelming.
never
Yeah.
buys their players though. Bayern never, like even Coutinho, he played really well that season. They didn't buy him.
Yeah, but the
Like
price
this,
of
it's a
Coutinho
Bayern
is much
class.
higher than Perisic.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
I think
Can
if
I-
you
can we
consider
still-
he was playing
yeah,
at a
yeah,
position, he was playing at a position, you can even consider that. So
Average.
for me, he's average. But
Yeah.
if you guys want to vote underwhelming,
I agree.
I'm
No, I
fine
agree
that.
with average. I agree with average.
All right, we'll skip Padelli, but then Pinamonti as well. I personally believe
Flop.
that flop, because if someone like Sanchez, who we'll talk about him in a bit, who's much older than you, gets to steal your place, something's wrong. And I think Pinamonti, I think this was one that season where, especially with all the competitions they had, at least he could have shined in in one of them, and he just did nothing. I think it's what's up?
Sorry, we paid him 20 million
20 million
from
exactly.
So
Then
Yeah, that's a lot of
Ranocchia, I don't know if we can even speak about Ranocchia. He got called up once, didn't he? And he played quite well.
when he played, he did his job every single time. I think he even got a couple clean sheets. Of course, it was, let's say, easy games against maybe Gin or stuff like that. So I don't know.
I just pop him in average.
Average, okay. Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez, I think, has to be under good. Because, this is the thing, though. He hasn't played always, and he hasn't been a starter, but those times he's played, I think he's always been class.
Although his salary...
I mean, they Inter dropped really important games away at some important points away at Sampdoria because he missed a penalty, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go as far as saying he's been class every time he played.
No, but he's been good.
As a starter, he's been terrible, but as a sub is coming in the second half.
You know what it is? I was just thinking on it. I think it's what Luca used to say. It's like there's a point in the game when even if Inter losing or not winning, when they have Lukaku, Lautaro, and Sanchez at the same time, I don't even think it's him that makes the game, changes the game. It's the fact that all three are on the pitch at the same time was just makes him incredible. So I'd put him in good, guys. I'd put him in good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
He's been better. He's been better than Perisic, that's for sure. Sensi, I think it's a shame that we haven't seen enough of him. So I'd put him in average just because I don't want to give him a bad grade.
No.
Underwhelming, I think.
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming, yeah. I wouldn't say flop because I think that's a bit harsh, but he's been underwhelming. And then again, I get that injuries and stuff. But also, I think when he did play, the few times he did play, he never really stood out, right?
Even injuries, I think it's kind of his fault. Like, it's the player's fault to some extent.
Oh, yeah, of course. I agree.
Like, if you get injured for 6 months, constantly.
Repeatedly, yeah. Either you're made of glass or
you don't know your body, you don't know your limits, maybe. All right, moving on. Skriniar, got to be an all-star, guys.
all-star, as we were saying, yeah.
Vecino, flop. I think
he was injured.
Did he even play?
For a lot.
Yeah, he didn't even play. Well, I'd say underwhelming. I think a bit like Gagliardini, I wasn't expecting him to do anything. Didn't even remember he played for Inter still.
He played like 2-3 games.
The only times he comes out is when he has to play against us. Then flop, good old Arturo.
Flop. Yeah.
Sorry, let me just think about it again. So, and then we'll do Ashley Young as well. I'm saying underwhelming /flop.
I think underwhelming.
No flop. Yeah, underwhelming.
Underwhelming. Wait, so let me look at this. So Inter's new transfers were Hakimi who did really well, but then
Darmian.
Darmian.
Who did good, but then Eriksen, Kolarov, Pinamonti, and Vidal were all flop / underwhelming.
I mean, for the last three, we knew that was going to happen. At least I predicted.
I thought Vidal was going to be incredible. I thought Vidal was going to make you win the league. I thought he was going to be really good.
Maybe
am I
Vidal
the only one who thought that when you guys bought him?
I didn't think he was going to do wonders, let's say.
Like, I thought he was going to be a good addition, but like if you ask me, would I have kept Nainggolan or gotten Vidal, I would have said Nainggolan all day.
I agree. I think in the sense, like, I expected him to not be great, but I didn't expect him to be this bad, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know, like, he was a lot worse than I expected, but I didn't expect him to be this, like, savior of the team.
All right, final question, then. Where would you put Conte in all that? I'd put him under All-Star.
If we're talking Serie A, All-Star 100%.
But this is the thing. I think the fact that they went out of a Champions League, there was a point. Do you guys remember? There was a point where I think Inter fans, correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, you guys are like really. I don't know about you, but there was a point where people were really angry because of him getting out of a Champions League and stuff he said in interviews. There was a point where people even saw him not continuing at Inter, and apparently there was discretions and there was like news of him, like rumors of him already resigning, like behind closed doors. And I think going from that, and when we were first and all that, all that tension, to winning the league comfortably and decisively, I think is not for everyone. A bit like the Inter slogan. Wow, that was very poetic.
It was I really like what you said. I think it was a bit of a, like, how do you say, like, amalgamation of a lot of different.
About what's going on tonight, huh?
A lot of different things
big
that were
words
going
are
on.
going out tonight.
If you consider, like, how we lost Europa League last year, his conference after the game, the meeting he had with Zhang, with the presidents, with Marotta, how he started increasing his demands, how he was told, no, you have to stick with this. We don't have money. You have to do this, and this. How we got knocked out. Like, it was all like a combination of things, like so much pressure on him, and the fact that he was able to then, without getting paid, the players weren't getting any money for their salaries. Like, with all the tension, the way he was able to just get through all of that and still win.
I have a question. Would it have been a different year if you guys won the Europa League? Do you reckon you guys would have gone in like guns blazing? You just would have won it from the start.
The thing also, I think you guys also had this problem where you started the season very early. We obviously finished ours very late. I think we had 2-3 weeks.
Well, the Europa League final was in like August anyway.
Yeah, and the Serie season started in like early September or even late August. I think we got a week postponed, like the first match.
You guys got postponed.
So if you consider that, like, how slowly we started, I think it kind of makes sense. I think we will see a new Inter in Champions League next season. I hope. I don't expect us to get humiliated. At least not fourth place. Maybe even third we might get this season.
Do you see a lot of changes coming in for Inter next year? Because apparently the transfer market won't be that movement for Inter.
I don't expect anyone to come in. Like, literally, I don't expect any new players to come in. But at least I hope we're able to keep the ones we have, like Barella, Hakimi, Lautaro, Lukaku.
Those ones.
Yeah, I saw Moratti was talking about Kante this week, which makes no sense. How you gonna get Kante?
That's why we were $1 billion in debt.
In that.
Moratti sold us.
But I have a question. But the last thing, and then guys, we'll start closing because it's been an hour. Do you think the deadwood, let's say, of Inter will be you guys will get rid of, or you still keep them? Because we're not the deadwood of champions, if you get what I mean. Like the whole, the Gagliardinis, the Vecinos, the Ranocchias, these guys got to go. Like, for example,
leftovers from the banter era.
I don't expect what's his name. What's the striker's name again?
Pinamonti.
I don't expect Pinamonti to be there next year, but they can't just not have a striker there anymore.
Have you heard
Who's
anything?
Gonna buy him though?
Oh,
have we heard anything about Esposito?
I think he's been doing quite well in Venezia.
I think Esposito might do another year in on loan because he did it in Serie B. I think we might test him out in Serie A, maybe, depending on how Venezia do. But yeah, he hasn't been doing that bad, actually. I think he's been doing quite well.
The only
I'm not going to make this whole... No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh.
I was going to say, I don't want to pull out this whole discussion about how Italian football doesn't value youngsters. But when you think that, like, Esposito played at the highest level in the Champions League, and I remember against Dortmund, he like played very well, even won a penalty.
He got a penalty, yeah.
And then he goes like on loan for 2 seasons, one in Serie B. Like, is that happening in England or in Germany? No way, right? Like, there's players like Musiala, things like that, who just get thrown into it right away, and then in Italy we.
But at the same time, like, you know, it shows how in Italy you don't need the youngest team to win. You need the best team you have, and if it is a young guy who is the best guy out there, then you put him in like we did with Gigio. If he's not the best, I don't think teams are ready to sacrifice the.
But maybe that works in Italy. What I'm saying is that the Italian, there obviously is a problem with football in Italy, right? When it comes to national team level and when it comes to European level. So I don't know. As I said, I don't want this to become a super long discussion talking point, but I think that Esposito hasn't been treated fairly.
Yeah, I think still, you know what it is as well. I think the whole Pinamonti thing wasn't a technical decision. I think it was a contractual thing they had. I think if they could have kept Esposito, I think they would have, because I think he was also friends with a lot of players.
We had a handshake agreement, I think it's Preziosi, Genoa's owner, where we would buy him back, basically.
Okay, makes sense.
With Esposito, just last quick thing. I think he got the first 6 months of his loan. I think he was with another team, and he had to get a transfer to even play a bit. Like
I think he was at Spal, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think something like that.
That's where his brother plays as well.
That even a Serie B team can't find the time to play a youngster.
Yeah, he was at Spal.
And Amy, that's another issue. I think that Serie B, while like the championship is really good for like Premier League loans players to the Champions League, and they always play, I think Serie B is a terrible league for Serie A teams to loan their youngsters out to, because it's a completely, it's not football for youngsters. It's just old players who have always been there. They play like really gritty football, and I don't think that it never works out when you see like a young Serie A player get sent to Serie B, or maybe not always, but very rarely.
Yeah, I actually can't think of any stories of any Serie A player who I don't know, like who tore up Serie B and then went to Serie A and did well.
Yeah, like youngsters who went down to Serie B.
I think Pobega did really well last year, and then this year he was very inconsistent in Serie A. He was good for when he played, but he didn't even play all the time. The only one I can think of like recently, Pobega. No one really comes up to mind. You know, even like look at Lapadura. Now it sounds like a meme, but Lapadura was a 30-goal striker in Serie B. Milan bought him for a good price. He did okay on his first year, nothing too special. But then after 1 year, we literally discarded him. That was also because we were idiots, but we did well at the end of the day. It wasn't a long-term investment. But, you know, someone who scores 30 goals in Serie, you know, someone who scores 30 goals in the championship will still do quite well in the Prem.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins, for example.
Bamford, Ollie Watkins. Look at these guys.
Vardy.
Vardy. All right, guys, we'll close the episode on that. It was a really nice episode. Amy, wait, my cat's there sleeping again. I told you guys we wanted to move the whole episode. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, guys. It's always a pleasure to do the episodes with you. I'm kind of sad about the season is slowly starting to end. Next episode, we'll be talking obviously about Milan Juve. It's going to be really interesting, especially with Ricky here. Hopefully, Juve will win. I'm going to say that. Hopefully it'll be a good result for us. And not much to say. Congrats, Amy, again on the Scudetto. And thank you, Lukaku, for driving underneath my house. On that note, I'm going to say bye to my panelists. Jonathan.
Bye, guys.
Luca.
Bye, guys. Great being back.
Amy.
Bye, guys. Really good episode. So see you next week.
As always, I have been your host for today, Ale Ardoriani, and we'll see you next week. Bye.